Welcome back. So, Florida. Now, one of the last teams to get things going. Dallas, of course, will get things going in 5 days' time, but which is why we didn't have Tampa and Dallas today. That was supposed to be on today, but it's postponed. So we get Chicago and Florida. If you are a Chicago fan and watching tonight's game, you said, wake me up in October, I wouldn't necessarily blame you for that. There's not a lot of positives to take out of this if you're a Chicago fan, but let's go through it. Early, the Panthers get a power play. It ends up with one shot. Didn't look too shabby. 5 minutes in, there were no shots for Chicago. Chicago's slow out of the gate. Inconsistent play they had in Tampa, followed them to Florida. They had that inconsistent play here as well. Close call then for Verhage at 5:30. Delia saved. I thought Carter Verhage had a very nice debut today for the Florida Panthers. DeBrincat had a drive which drew a Strawman penalty, so the Hawks get a power play. And beast mode by Barkov, shorthanded. I talk about this every year. It is a broken record. Barkov is fantastic when he's in what I qualify as beast mode, where you're just not getting the puck off of his stick. He had some inconsistency in the return to play against the Islanders, but this player today, pretty good. He doesn't get on the board with a goal, but he did everything except get a goal in this game, and he does get a point. So we'll see how things advance for him from here. Achari also had a chance during that penalty kill. Delia then denied Wenberg, lost his stick on the play as well. Drieger denied Strome at the other end. The shots were 6-5 Panthers 12 minutes in. And so it was an entertaining back and forth game. Not the most tidy in terms of defensively preventing good opportunities, but that makes for more entertaining hockey for us fans. The Panthers challenged a goal by Patrick Kane as offside, and yes, it was no goal, and they didn't look at it for very long. It was pretty clearly offside. So that was an offside play that took that off the board. Most of the play, especially in the second half of the period, was in the neutral zone. So after the good chances that we saw in the first half, we didn't get a ton of them in the second half. And then the last minute, there was a good chance for Owen Tippett. But we come out of the first period with a scoreless draw. 12 seconds into the second period. Yeah, one of those first-minute goals, Ekblad gets the goal. Now, initially, they gave it to Verhage, but Verhage's stick didn't touch it. It went off Duncan Keith's stick and into the net 12 seconds in. So Ekblad gets himself a goal there. He gets his first goal very early in the season. And, again, one of the good players for the Panthers tonight. And then they almost scored again 20 seconds later as Verhage hits the post. So it was very nearly 2-0 before we're a minute into the second period. The Panthers were playing in the Hawks' end for most of the early play, and it pays off. Yandel would score from Huberdeau and Luostarinen at 5:33. That is the 100th goal for Keith Yandel, and Delia had absolutely no chance on that play. So Yandel gets his 100th goal. Luostarinen gets a point in his first game as a member of the Panthers, which was a storyline tonight as well. A lot of brand new Panthers getting on the board. Drieger then had a great cross-ice save on Kurashev. The Hawks started generating chances. Once they were down 2-0, they got the momentum. Again, it felt sort of like the games they've had against Tampa. In both games against Tampa, there were flourishes for Chicago where they looked good. They just were always playing from behind, and you can't do that in the NHL. Power play then for the Blackhawks, and some great shorthanded play from Barkov. However, DeBrincat would score from Keith and Kane at 12:24. That's a power play goal for Chicago, and it gets them on the board. And DeBrincat now has 2 goals in their first 3 games. This might be one of those silver linings for the Hawks so far, that DeBrincat looks like he's got his goal scoring back this year. We'll see whether or not that lasts, right? Too many men call then for Chicago. Panthers go on to the power play. And it was a matter of there were too many guys on the ice, and they played the puck. It's one of those things where if you'd let the puck go, but they were anxious to try to tie it, and they played it when they shouldn't have. The Hawks then get a 2-on-1. Vetrano knocked the net off on that play, but he was tripped and fell into the net. Uyghur then overtook Kane on a break late in the period. which I thought was really impressive defensive play from Mackenzie Weegar, who is, yes, one of the underrated defensemen in the National Hockey League. And Panthers fans said, yeah, he is. Drieger then denied Hawks chances in the final 30 seconds as the Hawks were pushing for the tie. They don't get that, so we go to the third period with the score 2-1 for the Florida Panthers. Third period, early power play for the Panthers, and then a minute and 7 seconds later, it's 4-on-4. And then it was like that extra ice to open things up 4-on-4 made all the difference in the world. First, it's Murphy from Suter, that's Pius Suter, 4-on-4 goal at 2:53. But then it goes the other way. So right off the next faceoff, 22 seconds later, Luosterainen gets his first goal in the National Hockey League, also in his first game in Florida to go with his first assist, and Verhage with the assist there after he had his goal taken off the board in the second, which he didn't touch the puck. It was Ekblad's goal. So, again, this is also during the 4-on-4. So, furious action both ways, and you can tell that the next goal is going to be key, and Chicago is hoping for it, but it is Hornquist scoring from Huberdeau and Gudis at 5:57, and that one went off of DeHaan's stick. So Calvin DeHaan's stick knocked that one in, same as Keith's stick knocked in the one in the second period. That has to be frustrating for Colin Delia to have 2 goals go against you. Your save percentage isn't great coming out of this game, and your own defense are basically helping to make this happen. Vetrano then nearly scored. There was a close call for the Hawks with 9 minutes and 30 seconds left. So Chicago was getting chances. And I thought Drieger had a very good game. Drieger showed last year that he was a very good goaltender. He was basically stealing the job from Bobrovsky at certain points of the season. And he shows again why in this game. He was very solid, very sound in the net, good goaltender. Then the Hawks got another good chance with about 8 minutes left. So again, they were generating opportunities. But when you're 4-2 behind, just like when you're 2-0 behind, you're fighting from behind. You're expending that energy. You're playing desperate hockey, but you're behind. And so Chicago really up against it. And then Barkov got a chance with 5 minutes left. Drieger then denied Highmore. So Highmore gets a good chance and is denied. 3:13 left. The Panthers get a power play. And on that power play, they score. First power play goal of the season for Florida on their 4th opportunity. It is Huberdeau scoring from Barkov and Hornquist at 16:55. So Patrick Hornquist with a goal, with an assist. Hornquist was very prominent, crashing the net constantly on power plays and every time his line was on the ice. If this seems familiar to people who've watched Hornquist play, it's because that's the only way he knows how to play hockey. Crash the net, look for the garbage goals, and he fits right in with this line. This is a really solid addition considering they lost Dadonov in the offseason. Hornquist coming out of game 1 looks fine. There's really a different look with Hornquist constantly crashing the net than what they had with Dadonov. So Florida ends up winning this one 5-2. Chicago, their goals against in the first 3 games, abysmal. They're 0-3 now. Florida's 1-0. And this is the interesting thing too. They haven't lost in regulation at home to open a season. So when they open their season at home, that's their first game of the year. They're actually now 9-0-2. So just one of those interesting little details that, Florida hasn't lost at home when they've opened the season at home. Just one of those oddities. Considering Florida's not exactly known as a team that wins a whole bunch of games, makes the playoffs a lot, that's an impressive record. So the shots in this one favored Florida in the first 12-6. In the second, it favored Chicago 10-7. In the third, Florida outshoots Chicago 10-8. Final shots 29-24 in favor of the Florida Panthers. Power plays, Chicago goes 1 for 3. Florida goes 1 for 4. Delia saves 24 out of 29 in the loss. Drieger saves 22 out of 24. So people will look at Delia's numbers and they'll say, well, he didn't have a very good game. My answer to that would be, actually, it doesn't help when you have your defenseman knock 2 pucks into your own net. So, long night for Delia, long night for the Hawks, and you get the feeling it's going to be a long season. They don't have Taves. They don't have Doc. They lost Crawford in the offseason, so that's your top 2 centers and your goaltender. And this was already, with those players, this was a team that was going to struggle to get into a playoff spot as it was. And without them, this just isn't the same. So Patrick Kane is doing his best. Like I said, DeBrincat's playing well, but It's just not going Chicago's way, and it could be a long season. So there you go. Just the 2 games today. We got 10 games tomorrow, so I'm doing the preview tonight because we've got a game at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. If you're wondering why, it's because it's Martin Luther King Day tomorrow in the U.S., so it is an American holiday. It is Pro D Day, I think, here in BC. But there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.